I love what you're doing. To me, the idea that somebody is highlighting the music scene around here, I wouldn't even call it Oshawa, strictly because I believe it's Durham that comes to this area,
right.
And it has been such a big, huge music city, for so many years, and it kind of has its ups and downs where it dips away from people coming out and doing things. And I know pandemic, we've had all sorts of issues, but it's nice to see people getting excited about it again, and watching people, follow what you do is good to see.
Right. Well, the pandemic was such a reset for the whole kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I personally wasn't really in the live music scene at all before the pandemic.
Right.
Right. My backstory was that I was an engineer before I was doing any of this.
Yeah.
And then ended up leaving that job kind of 2022, 2023-ish, right before this place had opened.
Yeah.
And then doing the camera stuff just sort of found me through doing Brendan's thing, right?
Right, and that's where it sort of snowballed for you.
Yeah.
For me, I've always loved music. I love everything about it. I love the emotions that it evokes. I love what it can do. When you're feeling good to make you feel even better, and the warm hug of a good song when you're down, that kind of stuff. And it's just something that I've always enjoyed. I've never had any talent. I never focused on doing any instruments or anything like that myself. But I always really have been into music heavily, and had an enormous CD collection back in the 80s. Just as it started kicking off, and now starting to get into the vinyl a little bit more. Now I've been hesitant because I thought it was a fad. It was just going to come and go.
Right in time for Cops Records to close.
Yeah, is it closing? That's sad.
Yeah, I think it's end of July. Will McGirt comment. Yeah, no. So
I saw the lease sign.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, the sign has been in the door saying they're closing soon for like 3 months now. I think.
Yeah.
Since I had Will on, actually, was when they announced it. But yeah. So, anyways, we're here today with Domenic Guidotti. You are the chief organizer for, what are we calling it this year? Come Together? Kids Rock for Kids.
It's the Come Together Canada Rock Benefit is the official words we've been using, and I know it's morphed into that. This is the 4th year for it. It's just an opportunity, really, and I'll talk a little bit about the Kids Rock for Kids part of it, but to do a benefit concert with youth bands, with teen bands. You got to be under 25 to be involved. The idea simply is to give them an opportunity to donate their time and talents to assist other youth that are in need or less fortunate than some of us. And really, all we do is organize the event, let them run with it. And try to get some sponsors, try to get people out to buy the tickets to support. And at the end of the day, we can cut a check. And we're doing one in Oshawa and one in Peterborough this year. And the one in Oshawa is for the John Dawson Music Fund. If those aren't familiar with that, John Dawson passed away a couple of years ago, and he was very big in the music scene in Durham. But he was also a huge proponent of young artists, and constantly, would get them on stage and get them involved in music and help ignite their passion for it. So this fund has been created to give instruments and lessons to those less fortunate and that can't afford to do that. So that's what that fund does. So that's Oshawa. In Peterborough, there's a few things happening in that city that have, caused, a bit of an opioid epidemic, a lot of teen homelessness, things of that nature. So there's an organization there, Peterborough Youth Services, that is really big on the mental health side and providing events, safe space for teens in need. So that's who we're raising money for in Peterborough this year. This is the first time we're doing it in Peterborough, so we're going to see how that goes. Last year we did Oshawa and Toronto, and the previous years it's only been Oshawa. So nice. Oshawa will always be the mainstay, and then we'll try and branch out and as it grows, because every year it continues to grow.
Yeah.
So this came out of an event that Kids Rock for Kids does, which is an international organization, but they're based out of New York. And they've been doing this about 9 years now. And they, again, just two parents of of young artists that wanted to give them the opportunity to give back. And to teach them about giving back. This is what you need to do. And you got talent. You might as well use that and try and raise money for people that need it. And so my daughter got invited to go down just strictly as a vocalist. And this is 2022. And she went down, enjoyed the festival. It was absolutely life changing. It was a 4-day event down there. It's it's grown quite big, and bands from all around the world go. And so they, when she had an opportunity to get there, kind of ignited her passion. And we immediately came back and started talking about, what can we do to bring this to Canada? We hadn't done anything in Canada. So we started with the very first one. It was 2023 during the March break. And I had started with her to get a band going as well, because this ignited her idea of being in a band, where before she was simply just a vocalist. She did a couple of recordings, but it wasn't with a band. It was with music that was produced, and then she simply sang over it. So it was something that and then this is where her band. So Life of Exile, big shout out to them. Obviously, I'm going to shamelessly promote that band. But this is where Life of Exile started. Life of Exile was created simply to perform at that first. Kids Rock for Kids Come Together Canada festival. So,
now it's really turned into something else, right?
Yeah. So again, once you started playing with a band, and it morphed a few times. There's been different artists coming and going out of that band, and it kind of locked in.
Staffing changes.
Oh yeah, staffing changes, and they sort of locked in once they found the 4 that absolutely gelled together, which is their current lineup now. And the last couple of years they've been incredibly successful in doing that. And
They're
four
probably
singles.
playing more gigs than any local band that I know of.
Yeah, no.
Right, like you guys are out almost every weekend. It seems.
It was quite a hustle, and the beginning was a little difficult, right? And in 2022, not a lot of venues were big on having young artists in there, young bands in there, and a lot of times we tried to hide their ages and their pictures, tried to sneak them in the door, that kind of thing.
Take a picture of them all wearing suits.
Exactly, disguises. So the idea is that there's this misconception with a lot of the venues that they couldn't have young artists come in, right? You had to be 19. This is a licensed event, that kind of thing. But they quickly begin to realize that the laws allow for somebody coming in. Parents are the ones responsible for them, and they can come in and put on a show. But that was the other thing, is that people didn't really have this expectation that a teen band is going to come in there and entertain adults to the same level that an adult band would. So I think that's been kind of the refreshing, and it wasn't a novelty, right? It started off as a novelty. I think they said, well, okay, young bands are coming in, oh, isn't that cute? And then all of a sudden, they throw down, a Rage Against the Machine song, and they realize, whoa, this isn't just a cutesy little novelty act. These guys know what they're doing. They're talented. They're passionate, and wow, this is the thing that really excites me, is seeing these young bands, seeing what they bring to the table, and that's why I love doing this, because. And I'm always get to the point when it gets close to it, where I say, well, I never do this again. It's too much work. I was hustling to get sponsors, getting tickets sold.
You'll be thinking about next year.
Yeah, right. It's a hustle to get sponsors. You get people through the door as well to buy the tickets. This post-pandemic era where not a lot of people want to go out. There was a time when you throw on a live show and you would have sold it out, right? Once upon a time, and now it seems to be a little bit more difficult to get people out.
Well, and I think that's part of the reason why the venues are willing to accept kind of the younger bands in, is that that's their pipeline for future audiences.
Yes.
Right? Because now their friends from school see that you're playing this cool show. Well, we can't get in as like audience yet, but now we want to, right? And then there are all ages shows that people can go to, and I think there's an active kind of thought about developing the next 5 years and having people still coming to stuff, right?
Right. But I think that's part of it, is the fact that they cut off the youth and saying, well, you can't come in, and then by the time they're 19, they're into something else, right? And the idea that they're having more and more, it takes a little bit extra work. Yes, you might have to have wristbands. You might have to, make sure your servers are really on point to make sure that people aren't drinking underage. But for the most part, anyway, these ones here, there's enough adult supervision that stuff is.
Yeah, it's not even a concern.
Yeah,
right?
So it's not a concern. But again, it excites everybody's idea to be at a live show and gets them ready for, they go to concerts anyway. Why can't they go to a bar and watch a live band and get excited about that? And some of these guys, I'm telling you, you're going to see in the future, right? We already talked about Life of Exile, but there's Wep, Haze, Vandal Hearts, right? Is a huge up and coming band. These guys have been on fire for the last few weeks, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
In the events that they're doing, and they're just picking up speed. So I'm really excited to see them. Over in Peterborough, there's the Sleeves, Hit and Run, Ultraviolets, Pressure Point. There's going to be about 8 bands every night, and it goes relatively quickly, but it's kind of a festival atmosphere, right? There'll be vendors there as well. And you'll see these bands come through, and we're very excited this year to have from New York a band returning. They were here for the very, very first one. The band is Undefeated, and it's this trio, these 2 sisters and brother that are absolutely phenomenal. Look them up, Undefeated. You'll enjoy the music. It's a little on the harder side, but it's good rocking. It really is. What else do you want to know?
Well, so after getting into organizing these events, what were some of the things that were more difficult about it than you thought it was going to be?
The workload. Like, my phone's I turned it on silent, but it's going nonstop as we get closer, because there's a couple of things that you always end up organizing. Getting everybody lined up to get ready to do these things. The equipment that needs to be ready, all of the things, lining up with the different venues, right? Because there's more than one, and saying, okay, what are the requirements? Each one's slightly different. There's the Biltmore here in Oshawa, and that's going to be on Saturday and Friday. It's going to be Market Hall in Peterborough, and I think that's one of the difficulties. Again, always I'm not really a sales guy, so getting sponsors and getting some money to cover overhead costs is always an issue. We're lucky to have a few that come back every year and help us out. And then it's just selling the tickets, right? Getting the bands to hustle and make sure that they're selling tickets. Getting parents that are in there involved as well, getting them out there as well. It's friends, family, and fans, right? Those are the 3 Fs. If you can get all of those coming out, then you're going to have a successful show. And every year it continues to build. It's starting to get a bit of a name now, so that people know that it's coming up. And they say, oh, yeah, I heard about that last year, or I missed that last year, so I'm going to make sure I go this year, that kind of stuff. And again, as each band, kind of filters through, you'll see, more and more bands that have been involved in it and, become part of this greater Kids Rock for Kids family.
Yeah. Well, and there's this thing that you were mentioning about, just the workload when you have this many bands that you're dealing with, right? Because to any one band, sending a question to the promoter and say, hey, do I need to bring my own amp? Or whatever the thing may be.
Sure, that's a basic question.
And, okay, I'm not being that much of a burden by asking this. Multiply it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 14, I think you said was...
I think it's going to be 14, 15 bands in total.
And suddenly someone's phone is going wild.
Yeah.
Right?
So group threads are my friend, right?
Oh.
But I have 3 separate ones going. I have one for one night and one for the other night, including performers, including parents as well. There's some minors involved. We always include the parents. And then you have... the collaboration band. So I haven't really talked about this. Each year we throw together a collaboration band, and that's usually just again for the thing like Life of Exile was the first year, and we were hoping that it continues as well. But it's really put together simply for the show. Right, that's always a kind of an exciting thing to do. And this year, it's a little bit of a nod to Sarah McLachlan, and just sort of highlighting the fact that women in rock have come such a long way. And I saw this recently, this documentary on Lilith Fair, and it was really exciting to see what that one event did. And I think it was only about 2 years that it lasted, that one festival. It was just strictly women. And part of the reason they did it, it's because not enough women were getting put on the festival circuit. They didn't want, at the time, radio stations weren't playing women back to back because they didn't feel that it was there was a need for it. So I feel women in rock have come a long way. So the Lilith Hurricane, HERICANE, is going to be debuting on Friday night in Peterborough, and they're going to be performing in Oshawa on Saturday. And they're an all-female rock band that again we just pulled together. Some are playing in bands that are going to be in these 2 days as well, and some are just artists, local artists that were looking for a spot to perform, and they all jumped on board. There wasn't one person that hesitated when I asked the question, do you want to do this thing? And they said, yeah, what's the commitment? And I'm a bit of a last minute guy too, that's a problem. I go, well, the next couple of weeks, you're going to rehearse, a 25-minute set and crank it out, with people you haven't played with before. You want to do it? And they were all, yeah, let's go. So you're going to see 6 females come rocking and on the Friday and the Saturday night in Oshawa and Peterborough.
So something that I'm kind of noticing about this, and particularly looking at the Oshawa list, most of these bands have kind of come from the 222 thing, right? Yeah. And hey, saying that they came from it isn't right. Like, they organized themselves and built their bands, but like, these are a lot of the local kind of bands that you see around Oshawa a lot of the time. Yeah. And it's almost like this whole event is like a scaled up version of Brendan's 222 jam that we do, right? Yeah, yeah. So, and then you have like the one impromptu band that was kind of thrown together at the last minute. Yeah. So that place is a gold mine for me. Right. I go there a lot, as you know. Yeah. You'll see me there sometimes, just hunkered in the corner, just paying attention and having a drink and eating the pizza. Really great pizza here. But yeah, that I think is an extension of that conversation we were having about the fact that there weren't a lot of places for young bands. Right. In the beginning, Life of Exile was really only being able to play, at I think the Edge and Ajax, would have an open mic night that allowed all ages. The Rock Pile in Toronto, you'd have to drive all the way out there on a Sunday or Monday night, I forget the night, and be able to perform a little bit on a stage there. There wasn't a lot of opportunity, and this thing that Brendan started about 1.5 years ago now, I think, really was an area where they could come and let go. No judgment. You'll see a lot of people just starting out there. Yeah. But it also it became a community. So now these bands were starting because of, I think Section Overrun's a great one to bring up, because I believe that they're a creation of what Tutu was developing. Yeah. And you just had 1 or 2 performers coming on, I remember, in the very early stages, and doing some good stuff, and now they found another. I think the drummer jumped on board, and then all of a sudden you have all the full makings of a band, and they're doing awesome. Yeah, and I think there's a few of those that have kind of shown up, right? Like what was Mike's band? I think they called it
Malice Incarnate.
No, them too, I guess. Yeah. They didn't start from this. They were established when they came to this, I think. I'm thinking about they played with Malice Incarnate at their last show. I think they called themselves Exploded Chicken.
Oh, okay. All right. And that, again, is the artist from...
Yeah, and it was Mike D, Jaden from Ligament, and 2 other guys that I didn't really know. I think maybe one of them was from Malice Incarnate. Yeah. But, like, it was just a bunch of the people who come to this anyways were just like, I want, like, a different band that's, like, this kind of thing. And you have the freedom to, like, literally show up with no plan and a guitar and meet a bunch of people and figure out your set within the night and go perform it. Yeah. Right? Yeah, and then a bunch of them went on to turn into like real bands going out and booking shows.
Yeah, it's exciting to see a couple of folks get together and all of a sudden scurry off back into the green rooms back here. And say, oh, okay, we're going to be back and we're going to have a couple of songs ready, and boom, 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 they got them. Yeah, it's exciting to see, and that to me is real talent. Somebody that's able to jump on and just do this and that. And I've seen Brendan be up there, and all of a sudden some drummer just jumps on and starts playing a song with him. Out of nowhere, and it's exciting, again, just to watch that organic flowing of talent. Yeah.
Well, and it's like something in between a like real concert and like a little kind of quiet open mic.
Right.
is the feeling of this thing, right?
Yeah. So to me, I love being able to get involved and be able to promote some of these bands. Some of these bands, may not have had an opportunity to play, I'd say, on a stage like the Biltmore, right? They haven't reached that level yet. And this allows them opportunity to get on there, to have that pro sound, that pro light, and to get on there and all of a sudden feel like a rock star for a night. And to me, what a better way to keep showing them, what's ahead.
Well, and also to explain the commitment of doing a show like that, right?
Yeah. It allows them an opportunity to continue to have that fire under the belly and continue to do stuff and want to continue to do, because I think it is a hard grind sometimes when they continue to practice, the song over and over and over again and trying to get it to perfection. I think it becomes a little monotonous, and I think you really got to want it. So I think some of these bands you're going to see in these shows really do. I started something. Because it wasn't just about the team bands. I love just local music in general. And last year in February was the first year we did Can Rock Rising at the Biltmore again, and that event is just getting 4 bands, with incredible, talent and I was really wanting to highlight the songwriting, and the 4 bands, that went in there were Burning Bridges, Narima, Life of Exile, of course, and this Manic Boys and Girls Club. I'm always wearing their merch because they're a really exciting band. If you haven't heard of them, then you need to. This is just a brother-sister duo, Bella and Fernando, that are writing incredible music. It's exciting to watch. Their performances are always next level. It's a little theatrical as well and stuff like that. But to me, giving the people like that the opportunity, bringing them together, I don't mind taking the little risk on getting some deposits down and thinking, okay, are we going to be able to sell enough tickets to cover this, right? I don't want to make money off it. Don't get me wrong, and I don't.
But you certainly don't want to lose money either.
But I don't want to lose any money either, and I don't. To me, I bring the bands together, and they're the ones that get the profits. It got nothing to do with me. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm really doing this for the passion, and I'm going to continue to do it as long as it doesn't become something that keeps draining my pocketbook. I'll keep doing it.
You hit on something important here, that there's a lot more ways to lose money doing this than to make money doing this.
Yeah.
Right? I think a lot of people don't think about that when they first get into it, that there's a lot of risk that you're taking on by trying to do this kind of thing, right?
No, absolutely.
But the reward is amazing if it works out.
Yeah, and that's where you find the venue that it becomes a partner, right? So as opposed to you saying, well, here, just rent my place and good luck to you. You find a place that works with you a little bit, helps with the promotions, helps in maybe balancing the risk a bit and maybe sharing the risk a little bit. And I think that helps go a long way as well in doing some of this stuff. But it, again, continues. First of all, keep the venues busy.
Yeah.
Right. We don't want to make sure that there's going to be no more closures of venues. It's sad to see when that happens. Some of the ones in Toronto have been historic, and it's sad to watch. But I think as long as people continue to come out, pay a few bucks to come and see, some quality entertainment, you're going to continue to have bands that are going to want to come in and do that, right? And there's plenty of places in this area, and you've been highlighting a lot of them in your show here.
Yeah. The Oshawa area is really good for that kind of thing, I've found, right?
Yeah.
Got a shout out to Nick and Heather from Bond Street. Shout out to Diana and Jacob from Biltmore. We're very lucky in downtown Oshawa to have as dense of the number of venues within 2 or 3 blocks right here, right?
Yeah.
And just how much stuff is going on in this area that no one seems to be realizing, right?
Yeah, and I think the ones that do, right, the music aficionados, we'll call them, that come here, they're the ones that are paying the door at the Atria and, not even knowing what they're coming in to see. Right, you don't know what band, right? I will on a Friday night. Are you kidding me? You go in and you're paying a few bucks to go in there. And you have no idea what you're
roll
about to
the
get.
dice.
Yeah, you have no idea what you're going to get. Sometimes some really crazy stuff, and
yeah,
there's a lot of times you're like, "What? This is really good. I can't believe I just stumbled on this." And all of a sudden now you're, wanting to share a few clips and stuff like that, and it's exciting. It's a turn on to see. Something that you didn't expect, and all of a sudden, boom! It ignites something in you.
Do you have a story of a time that you did that and it went wrong? Because I think those are always really entertaining.
Well, I'm not going to throw any bands under the
No,
bus.
don't say who the band was.
There are some bands that push the boundaries of art, and maybe musically, lyrically, performance as well. So you'll have some bands, I think, that come on and want to do something that is just out there. Right, you're not really sure what you're listening to. Is this a song or something breaking? You don't know what you're getting. So
just like tapping the guitar chord against their hand and getting the buzz sound or something.
Yeah. So, and to some people, maybe that is something. But to me, there's definitely, and we actually got involved. When I say we, it was Life of Exile. I got involved with a band that had that type of sound, we'll call it, and. It was hard to stay the entire night and to continue to watch that band. But when you're there kind of as a team and you line yourself up with a couple of bands to do a night, you want to stick around and make sure you're supporting all the way through. And I can think of one that runs in mind. I'm not going to mention them, but it was a little hard to sit through. It just wasn't something that I enjoy, and I enjoy a lot of music. I was listening to opera on the way here. My daughter just did a recital and was singing some opera. And, I enjoy all types of music, but there are times
you're allowed to have preferences.
Yeah, but what we consider music sometimes, again, is, gets a little cloudy when it comes to clicks and tweaks and sounds and some unique artistic performances, I'll say, versus coming to listen to a band play a song and music.
Well, and I've found there's a lot of things that are like, there's a type of music that I don't really want to listen to myself, but going to that type of show is really fun.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
like
agreed.
I'm not a metal person. I would never be like sitting at home wanting to put on Metallica.
Right.
But then going to metal shows is a really fun, like high energy, like I feel like that music just makes sense as a live thing.
Yeah.
In a way that I don't relate to just listening to it.
Yes.
And like everyone's got preferences like that, right?
Yeah. So for me, it's the energy that it creates. So when you get to some of those shows and you get the Wheel of Death, you get all sorts of other different things happening in the crowd. That the energy that comes off of that is incredible. So yeah, I mean I don't know, put Metallica, at that end, but there are bands, that on the thrash metal, scene that I wouldn't say I'd listen to, on a regular basis, but I'd love to see them live. And there's times, even just as you mentioned at the jam at 222, you get a couple of bands in there and wild, just the energies, the room wants to blow up.
So what are kind of some of the genres you would like to see more of around Oshawa?
That's a very specific question. No, I don't know that I can nail something down. To me, or again, the Domenic Boys and Girls Club, I can shout them out because they have some tinges of new wave, which I grew up in the 80s. So, music that still, harkens back to that. And I think the Killers had a bit of a resurgence there, and there's a few other bands that are doing it that have, those elements, the airier sound, some keyboard driven music, things like that I say, okay, I enjoy seeing that, in with rock music. Yeah. Right. That, to me, all of it. I want to see more folk music, and the venues doing folk music nights. I want to see bands doing, venues doing the thrash metal nights, right? Because, again, it's feeding off of that energy. But yeah, no, I can't say one specific, that I'd like to see more of, because I think it's happening, right, in pieces all over the place. Hard to see sometimes. It's not like, okay, once upon a time, 222, we'll talk about the Dungeon. You knew the Dungeon would be a good place to go for punk, right? That was, punk music was at the Dungeon all the time. So it used to be that you could go to a venue and say, well, that's the kind of music you're going to see.
That's not really the case anymore.
That's not. It's all over the place. I was looking just at the upcoming shows here and at Bond Street, and they got some exciting stuff coming up, but it goes all the way from, rap music, folk music, some other maybe more adult contemporary type of music, I'll say, more easy listening, but it's all over the place. And to me, that's exciting for a venue because you never know what you're going to get. Again, just showing up one night and saying, I'm going to see what's going on in here tonight, and come in and enjoy whatever they got to offer. So
yeah, I mean, like, I've found one that I really enjoy that I didn't expect to was country.
Yeah.
Right? Like, listening to country, I wouldn't really. Sometimes I will now that I've been around it more. Mm-hmm. But country shows, that's a fun crowd.
Oh yeah, you ever been to Boots and Hearts? Wild.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, no, I've gone a couple of times, and let me tell you, there's been some artists that I might not have been into. Luke Bryan, I wasn't into Luke Bryan when I saw him at Boots and Hearts. Wow. What he does with an audience, how he just holds them in his hand, it reminded me of like Freddie Mercury. It was unbelievable the way he worked up that audience and held them. And of course, the music's catchy too. So I enjoy country. I started a band with my daughter, Denim and Dust. It was only going for a short time because she's focusing on songwriting and recording. The Life of Exile is in the studio, the album to follow.
Are they?
Oh yeah, every few weeks they're going for the weekend, so they're going to have a full album release coming up towards the end of this year. So
all right,
that's going to be exciting. But for country music, I think it's also splintered, right? You have some of the newer country that harkens a little bit more to rock and pop, and then you still have some of the old timer feeling country, right, as well. That's still popping up in there. So I enjoy it too.
So I guess another thing to talk about with Life of Exile, and we were talking about this before we were on camera, but you at first were the manager with that band.
That's correct. Yeah.
That's sort of changed, but you're around still.
Oh yeah.
I just what was your experience with managing the band and seeing the industry from that perspective?
Well, challenging, right? It's again a big hustle in the very beginning, especially the first few years. Again, there was lineup changes as well. That doesn't make it easy as well. Just to continue for them to learn the songs and to start developing a proper set list to build up to the standard bar gig, which is 3 hours. So 3 set lists, right? That's 3 times 45 minutes. That's a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Right. So for them to continue to grow that, well, those lineup changes was difficult. And this is again just while they're doing cover music in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So the challenge of continuing to organize rehearsals, right? And then you have teens, which times they're not always focused and wanting to put the effort in, and it takes effort. It takes a lot of work to learn songs and to perfect them and to do it right. So that was a challenge, and I think we already talked about how difficult it was to get them into the venues at the time, and that's changed quite a bit now. A lot of team bands are getting their due, and I would say those 3 things, were the main things that kind of make it difficult. But they got great management now. They're continuing to do a ton of gigs, and they're going to be fine. They are really going to be fine. Yeah.
So what does the future of this look like as they're kind of getting out of high school? As much as you're allowed to talk, right? It's their individual choices, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it comes to commitment, it comes to availability, and then it comes to whether or not they think this is their main thing or not.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have one of them that's really into hockey, maybe they start prioritizing that more, and they start spending a little less time doing the rehearsing and doing the songwriting and doing the performing. Then you have somebody that I really want to go to school, and I'm going to go to Montreal.
Yeah.
And now they're gone.
It's very conceivable that all 4 of them end up in 4 different cities, right?
Right. Well, the lead singer is the only one. Bello is the only one that's got post-secondary, but she's going to be going in Oshawa. Okay. But the younger ones still got another year or 2.
Right.
So the one benefit of a team band is they're stuck at home for the first little bit.
They can't leave.
They can't go anywhere.
They aren't allowed to move away.
They can't get moved, with their employment, and they can't go away to school yet. But yeah, as these guys, the rest of the band turns 18, they're going to be making decisions, and I think if they put out a solid album this year and hit it big and get a record deal, all that fun stuff. Yeah, whatever a record deal means anymore.
I know, right?
Then all of a sudden they'll have to start making decisions, and if they decide that okay, this is a priority for me, and they move off, and the rest of the band needs to decide what they're going to do.
Yeah,
right, that kind of thing.
Well, and it's one of these things that I keep driving home on this show that the band you're in right now doesn't necessarily need to be the band you're in forever.
Right.
But I hope you keep playing music if you still enjoy it.
Right.
Right? And new people will come along, right? Life changes.
And your tastes change. So
Yeah.
all of a sudden
You may want to start a country band. You might want to do a rap thing. Who knows, right?
Exactly, yeah. And we've seen it. Did you ever see The Dusk Before Dawn?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was
those
what
guys
just
are
came
awesome.
to my mind.
That's where you
I
see it.
think they only did that like 2 or 3 times, and
No.
I hope they bring that back, actually.
No, and they're so talented, Gavin and Chima.
Yeah.
Oh my God, those guys. So whatever they want to do, they're going to be good at it.
Yeah.
Right. So that, to me, that's again the sign of a true talent. But I think that's the thing, is that you're not locked in. Yeah, you want band members to be loyal, and I remember there were times where you have challenges if there's more than one band. Okay, now you can't perform this night because you gotta, right? So it can get sticky that way. But I think as long as there's an understanding, then you can have more than one band going on at the same time. But
you have more than one hobby going on at the same time, right? Like you could be playing hockey or soccer or whatever your thing is, right? On top of doing this, it's just you have to manage your own schedule, right?
Right, and see that it fits. I mean,
because like if you can't make it to this one gig, you're depriving the other 3 people in your band.
Right. Yeah, and then things get, you don't want any animosity growing out of that.
Right.
But I think if there's an understanding, there's full communication, full disclosure, all this kind of stuff, then I think it's going to be easier to juggle a little bit of that. But there's times where just hard decisions will have to be made. We got a gig here for 30 minutes, but we're going to be able to showcase our original songs at this gig, versus going to do a 3-hour gig where we're going to actually make some money, right? This might be the decisions you have to make, and you say, well, do I want to go and just play the same cover songs over and over again, or do I want to try and showcase my original stuff? And sometimes that gets to be more exciting than just being a performance monkey, right?
Yeah.
That's the difference to me, right? Where you're just, okay, I'm here to entertain, versus I'm here to showcase something exciting, something new, something you might not have heard of.
Yeah. What else do you want to talk about here?
Okay, I don't know. No, I think we covered most of the stuff. I just enjoy doing it. Kind of involved in more than one band and helping them, either to get the gigs or to organize the staffing to get them together, things like that. I'm involved with the Gravel Road Country Band. You've heard of them? Very exciting. Mostly adult band. There's the fiddler Keith is unbelievable. You have to see these guys live. Yeah, watching these guys perform is awesome, and they get some originals coming up now as well. And really, again, my love of different types of music and helping this one band out. It's been rewarding, to see some of these shows. And man, some of that old country, right, just hits right here. It's so profound, and there's songs that I didn't even know that well. I'll say that I may have heard of them, or maybe heard of the artist, and all of a sudden now watching that song come to life. It's been unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, shit.
Well, shit. All right. I don't know what else you want to know. No, that Can Rock Rising, I'm hoping that's going to be an annual thing.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Just bringing 4 bands together that really have some strong songwriting. I think they're underexposed, and getting them together in the same room and hopefully able to sell enough tickets to make it worthwhile for the venue as well, and so it doesn't cost me money. I think is important, but again, to continue to showcase them, because they may not want to come together at a place like the Biltmore where there's that gamble. Right, there has to be one of the bands to say, "Oh, I'm going to bring a couple of bands with me and do this," and now it's all on me. So that's why I did it. And part of it, of course, is for my to help out my daughter's band. But for me, it's none of the money's coming to me. It's only going to them. So to me, if you do it right, you get the right kind of mix of bands together, you're going to sell the tickets, and it's going to be successful, and everyone's going to have a good time. So
I guess here's a good question. Because there's one level of preparation you're gonna do for a show at like a smaller bar like the Atria versus the amount of preparation you're gonna do for like this as a band, right? Like, how would you compare the two here?
So the preparation on my side is that you got to juggle all of them.
Right.
If you're doing a small show at the Atria, I guess with 3 bands, all you need to know is who's on first, who's second, and who's third. There's not a lot to it. The sound and light are managed by the venue. The door is managed by the venue. Things like that. So you do sometimes, go to a place like this place in Ajax, Elevate. You go in, you rent that hall. You got to manage the door. You got to manage the sound and light. All of that stuff. That becomes a little more extensive. The Biltmore is great because again, their sound and light is just phenomenal in there, and they run a tight ship.
Yes,
right,
they do.
Right, Jacob and Dinah. Oh my God, they run a really tight ship in there, and they've done this so long, which is why they've up for awards and stuff like that. It's a great venue, and that helps, right? Especially with someone who maybe not have enough experience. You're coming in, you want to put on a show. They'll walk you through it, and they'll show you this is what you need to do. This is how you're going to do it, and help with the promotions and all that kind of stuff. So, great folks.
Yeah. So, what are you looking forward to most out of all of this business that we got coming up?
Well, I'm looking forward to being over. That's what I'm looking forward to. If I can look forward to something, it's being over. To me, it's making sure it runs smoothly. I'm not going to sleep over the next few days, and it'll be making sure that all the little things that I haven't thought of are thought of. People got tons of questions, making sure everything's answered. Everybody knows where to be and when to be. Last thing you want when you have tight turnover is to have delays, and all of a sudden now it's not going to be dead air.
Where is Johnny?
There's going to be, right? We're looking for Ashes of Tomorrow. Where are you guys? Please get to the stage, right? You don't want to ever have that. You want them all lined up. You need to know when they're playing. They need to know what time they need to be where, and everybody needs to know, where they're plugging in.
Yeah.
So like you'll have the amp set up, you'll have the drum kit all set. You're not going to change over any of that. It'll all be a house kit, if you want to call it that.
Sure.
And everybody just plugs in and shares the equipment.
Well, it's one of those things where it doesn't feel like a big deal if you needed 5 minutes kind of right before your set until you multiply that by 6.
Right.
Right? And now the whole show is half an hour late at the end.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. Yeah, you can't. They want you out. They got to clean up.
All of their people are getting paid by the hour, and you go over. That's another hour. It's quite a bit of money when you add it up, right?
So, if you ever seen any real festivals, you'll see that there's always problems, and a lot of it is technical. So, getting the bands in early, making sure that their load is done properly, that their equipment is where it needs to be, and then that they do a sound check. So they already know this is what I need to do. My pedals are ready. Everything's ready to go. And now, I just need to wait my turn. And that's it. Plug in and go. But when somebody's got to go up there and they're like, oh, something's wrong. I need to do a bit of a sound check, before they get going. When they're the 4th band in, well, now you're causing delays.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I know like the thing they do with the Battle of the Bands when it's here, because that's like 12 bands each day.
Yeah.
Right? They put a clock. And it's like, no, you're cut off at 0 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And you have to at some point, right?
Yeah. And I think that's an important way to look at it, because I think you have that gap. Okay, you got to get on stage, you got to get ready to go, and if you don't start and you delay it, well, now that's going to cut into your set.
Yeah.
Right. Don't affect everybody else's. You gotta just worry about your own.
Well, and I think this is one of like the few rules that are like, if you break it, it's actually a real problem, right? Because there's all sorts of things. Don't jump off the stage. Don't drop the microphone. Don't.
Yeah.
And like, hey, don't. But like, you'll probably be forgiven. But if you like intentionally and knowingly go 15 minutes overtime, you're gonna have some angry people to speak to at the end of your gig, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And the only other one is like, don't break anything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The equipment's expensive. Everybody knows that that's in the industry. What all this stuff costs, and I know it's important to respect the stuff. Some drummers want to go wild, but if you're not
go wild on your own kit.
Yeah, if you're not switching out the breakables, then
exactly.
you gotta move slowly. Then you make it look good. You don't need to actually hammer them.
All right.
All right.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Thanks a lot for having me. Absolute pleasure, and excited to see what else you got coming. It's, to me, anything that helps this, region continue to grow, right? When it comes to promoting talent, get anybody out there, I'm all for it. So count me in.
All right. Well, Come Together Rock benefit, Kids Rock for Kids. That is going to be 2 days ago by the time this is out.
Friday, July 3rd and July 4th, Saturday.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday. But it's an annual event, and hope to see.
He's already planning next year's.
Well, we'll see.
Can't you tell how excited he is to?
Let's get through this one, and let me get off the period of say never again, because I always say never again.
The hangover period.
The hangover, sure.
All right, Domenic, thank you for coming today.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Have a good
Take
one.
care. Bye.